Hi, it's March 16th today. Today I'm gonna be taking some plants out to the hoop house, just hardening them off. I'm gonna be doing my ranunculus. I pulled some things out from the garage as well. Let me show you. So my ranunculus that I've had in the office, I'm gonna be pulling those out to harden them off. My anemone and ranunculus corms, these have been growing on in the garage. Not all of them have sprouted still, or there's still some that are very small. So I hope it goes well anyways. I was thinking maybe I should have kept them in the office for a bit longer, just that heat to get them started. And then I pulled a few things out from the garage as well. Some broccoli, some kale, winter boar, some stock. These aren't all my stock, I have a lot more, but I figured I'd start with these and just see how these seedlings do. Just don't want to risk it. I'm afraid, honestly, I'm afraid I'm gonna not remember to bring them in time. I hope they're okay. It's quite sunny today, but inside the hoop tunnel it does block a bit of light, and I can put it in the shadier part of the tunnel. Actually, the clouds are coming in, so it's not so bad right now. Hopefully it stays that way, just to not burn all these seedlings that aren't used to the intense sunlight just yet. I'm gonna leave them out there for hopefully a few hours. I put these two out yesterday just for like an hour or two, maybe less than a couple of hours. Just over here on the top layer of this little structure. I don't want to keep using it though. The door is kind of frozen into the bottom, and I was ripping it a little bit, trying to get these in and out. So that's mostly what I'm going to be doing for today. While I'm out there, I'm probably also going to start cleaning up the yard. It's still full of snow, but it's starting to melt off a little bit. I do want to get those extra like poops that my dog has done that I haven't gotten around to yet. Just hopefully keep it clean enough for when it starts to all melt. It's really pretty gross once everything melts. It's called breakup season here in Alaska in March at this time of the year, late March, April. And that's when all the snow, all the ice just starts to melt off and break apart in the water, you know. And typically what it means is that in the yard, all the snow melts and all the poop that I missed is still there, and it gets really gross. So as much as I can get around to today or in the next couple of days before all the snow melts off, this next week is going to be pretty warm, and I'm expecting a lot of the snow to be melted. I don't know. Maybe it'll be a couple of weeks before everything's melted. It's still gonna be freezing at night for the next several weeks. So there's no rush to get anything planted out in the ground. But hopefully planting in the hoop house is reasonable. I think it is right now. I've been monitoring the temperatures on the Govee, the hygrometer that I keep in there, and it's all looking good. What I've been looking for are temperatures to stay in the mid-20s at night, and it looks like it's going to be doing that anyways outside. So I'd say the stock and ranunculus are pretty safe to go under the hoop house right now. I do want to spend maybe another day or two hardening them off. Ideally, you'd want to take about 2 weeks to harden things off, but I just don't have a lot of patience. And they're going to be under a couple of hoops in there, so they won't be getting the full intensity of the sun the same way that they would if I planted them directly outside. And so hopefully the shorter hardening off time works well. It's about 2 p.m. It's a pretty cloudy afternoon, so I'm just gonna leave these in here for a few hours. Maybe around 6 or 5 or 6, I'll come out and bring them in once it starts to get a bit colder. Okay, while I have those seedlings in the hoop house hardening off, I'm also going to get started on planting up some larkspur. So these are flowers that are spiky, that are gorgeous. They have delicate blooms, delicate petals, very vivid colors. They do well where summers are cool. They're great for cut flowers, they're great fresh, and they're also great dried. They're really amazing dried because they hold all of the color in their blooms. I dried some pink and some purple ones last year. Just incredible. I wish I grew more, and this year I'm going to. It's a bit tricky starting these indoors. They recommend direct seeding them outside because these plants grow taproots and because they also like to grow at very cool temperatures. So you want to be growing them at like 50-55 degrees Fahrenheit. As you have seen, it's still like there's still feet of snow on the ground. I would like to start them indoors. So what I'm going to be doing is starting them in these bigger cell packs. So about 36 or 32 of these would fit on a 10-20 tray. And I'm going to be keeping them in the garage to grow on. They're not going to spend any time here. I also just pulled these out of the fridge where they've been for about a week. So it says chill seeds for 7 days at 35 degrees Fahrenheit to improve germination, and they don't like to germinate or grow where soil temperatures are above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. It's great for us in Alaska where the summers are cool, but where you have hot summers, these will probably do well in the springtime. Great spring flowers. So the varieties that I have are QIS dark blue and carmine, which is a bright, like hot pink color. I also have a Galilee mixture. Also these, this seed packet's giant imperial mixed colors. I'm pretty excited for that. Hopefully these will be really big blooms. Thank you to my friend Sarah who gave these to me before she moved away. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. They require darkness for germination, so I'll be keeping them in the garage and then putting them under the lights in the garage once they start to sprout, once they've germinated. Hopefully by that time, some of my plants will already be permanently in the hoop house and I'll have a little extra space under the grow lights, which is why I'm pretty much starting them now, just thinking about how much space I have and how long until I do get to transplant these out. Because they have tap roots, they won't transplant very easily, and I have to be quite careful. I'm hoping these cells are deep enough so that the taproot doesn't really get stunted right here. If that taproot is stunted, everything is gonna be stunted. Okay, let's get to it. So I'm sowing them about a 1/4 inch deep, covering them up because it requires darkness for germination, and I'm sowing about 2 to a cell. These are new seeds, but they have a 68% germination rate, so I'm just gonna hedge my bets, plant a little bit extra just to make sure that I have at least one growing in every cell. And I might honestly need to do more. I maybe should have planted a couple more per cell, but and just cut off, thinned out the ones that I don't need. But I am still really stingy, I guess, when it comes to seed, or I don't have the heart really to thin things out as much as I should. So I'll start with 2 for now. If I realize that not a lot are coming up, I'll sow a decent amount more. So I found some extra time today and I thought I'd plant up my lisianthus seedlings. They've been growing really well in these soil blocks, but I figured I would give them more space. I've already started. I've got like 12 of them potted up. I don't think I actually have enough of these 6-packs, so I'll just do as much as I can. I'll leave some of them in soil blocks. I'll try and leave the smaller ones in soil blocks. As I was pulling these out, I mean, I could tell the roots are growing a lot longer in the spaces where they can. They're growing into each other's cells. They're quite hardy roots, so it's kind of easy to pull them apart without damaging the roots. But that just gives me more confidence that they could use some more space for their roots to grow out, for these plants to get a little bigger. Lisianthus seedlings are pretty hardy to cold temperatures. Seedlings, if they're planted in the ground, they can survive down to 20 degrees Fahrenheit, which is great, but I don't want to be planting these out just yet, partially because these are precious. They take so long to grow. I don't want to make a mistake. I don't want to risk it by putting them out too early, but also because I think with some extra space grown indoors where it's a little bit warmer, they can get a little bit bigger. I'm gonna wait for them to get a bit taller, to 3 to 4 inches, and maybe 5 to 6 sets of true leaves. Right now they probably have around 2 to 3 sets of true leaves. And then I think by mid-April, I'll get them transplanted into the hoop house where it's gonna be a little bit warmer. It's about 4 to 6 weeks before our last frost date here. If you're curious about the potting soil that I have been using, I've been using a mix of an organic outdoor potting soil mix from the store, mixed with a lot of coco coir, rehydrated coco coir, and vermiculite. I don't really measure anything out. I know that I've been putting a lot of coco coir into it just because it's more cost effective. I really am hoping not to spend so much on these seedlings, on potting up and everything, because they're going to be going into the ground anyways. And even though the coco coir doesn't have any nutrients really, it's just like a growing medium, I am using liquid fertilizer instead when the seedlings get big enough. I have another video on how I fertilize, what I use, how often I do it, essentially just everything to do with fertilizing all my indoor plants as well as my seedlings. You can check that out if you're interested. Okay, I'll just get to it. Here's a good example of just how long the roots are getting. Come across longer. But yeah, these are why I just want to give it some more space, make sure those roots stay healthy and can grow bigger. Here's how much I got through today. I'll pick up on this another day when I've got a little bit more time and when I've got more of these cell packs. It's 6 o'clock. It's 6:40 actually. It's still pretty warm in the hoop house. I just went ahead and pulled these guys out. They're all still looking good. I'll go ahead and put them back in their spots, and then tomorrow I'll have them out there again Tomorrow, maybe I'll start planting out the ranunculus and anemone, or I might leave that till after tomorrow. Either way, it's pretty soon. I'm very excited. And I'll make sure to take you guys along and show you everything that's going on. For now, I'm gonna go ahead and go spend some time with my dog, with Brendan, who just got back from work after he's done with a few chores that he wanted to get done. But I'll see you in the next video tomorrow or after tomorrow. Bye.